Hey, how's it going? I'm gonna read some cards for you. Please look at my signs. So, I don't know. Well, I don't know what I was gonna talk about. I have no plan. I hope my little air cooler is not too loud. If it is, I apologize, but it's hot in here, so I guess deal with it. I'm just gonna turn this up because I can't do that. Never mind. Well, I hope it's loud enough. Anyway, so I pulled some cards and I just thought I'm just gonna pluck from whatever was happening. So I boy, say so again. Yesterday I was just watching videos and things, and there's this reader. She has a YouTube channel called 13 Moon, and I think she might be a medium too. I don't know, she's got something going on, but like I don't know what the deal is with me and her, but yesterday it was like, stop talking about my life. She's so good. And I have another one that I like that I have that with often, and she is Secret Shaman Oracles. Anyway, I don't know, for some reason I tune in with them really well. But I also noticed watching other stuff that I enjoy, but I don't necessarily have that same connection with. Magnetize Yourself, that's another one. Like, she does twin flame stuff, and I'm not even looking for that. She's just good. She talks about other things beside that, because it's not like, I guess it's kind of an insular thing, if that's your remit in the life. But I just find that I just watch her anyway, because I'm not like looking for that. So it's just, she's just a good reader. Okay, that was not so hard, was it? So she was talking about the first one, 13 Moon, was talking about nature spirits and things, and I'm like all into that. I love the little, I just see like domestic pets for the most part, although that's not true. I do see raccoons. They're pretty friendly, and possums and stuff here where I live, but like I don't see big game or exotic animals or anything. But I like them. I'll like pretty much everyone that I've come across. I like animals. So I was sitting in my doorway, and I noticed that there was a spider web up there, or part of a spider web, because what I've noticed that happens is now there's a bunch of teenage boys that moved into the complex. It was like a bunch of little kids, and then over like the weekend, all these teenage boys are around. So I don't know, maybe there's a party somewhere, or maybe they are just they live here now. I'm not really sure. But what I do know is, if there's a spider web up there and they're tall enough, they walk by and hop up there and just knock it out of there. I mean, they're not even thinking about it, and there's nothing I can do. I want the spider webs if they want to build it there, I want them to build it there. It's fine. There was a wasp nest for years in the same place, but the people that own the place now, because it's had 7 owners since I've lived here, I think, maybe less, maybe more. But this particular group hates nature. Like, I live in the Pacific Northwest. There, it should be, green moss growing on everything. There was, like on the ground and on my little tiny deck out back. Not, it wasn't like a jungle, but it's kind of everywhere here, and on the grass and on the ground. These people are trying to eradicate the moss, and I'm like, you know what is up the street from me? An asphalt place. So there's all these like 18-wheelers driving right past here all the time, and it's fast food, also village just down the road, and a market and a pharmacy at the same four-corner intersection just right down the street. So a lot of exhaust is what I'm getting at, and I don't want to smell that. No one enjoys it. Like, whatever, it's a fact of life. But you know what else is? The dang moss. And you know what the moss is good for, among probably a whole bunch of other things, is their air filters. And that's part of why the green is good, because it is doing stuff that you're not obviously I guess aware of, or care about. I think it's more of they're not aware. But you know how, like, if you're like a little upset in some kind of way and you see someone, or you're with someone, and they're like, oh, they want to comfort you, so they tell you, take a deep breath, or or something like that, or not trying to give you an order, but just because out of concern, they care, they want to help, and so if you're in that kind of mood, you'll just be like, I don't want to hear it, and you'll just be like, And I feel like people are like that about the green and the nature. Like, they just are not making the connection that we kind of all depend on each other to not be sickly, and we can be well. And oh my goodness. So anyway, I like the animals, I like the nature, and 13 Moon was talking about spiders. And when I had been sitting out there sort of feeling a little melancholy about the boys knocking out the spider web, because there hadn't been one for a while, and I just saw it up there, and I was happy, well, melancholy, because there was just like a big strand, but the light was going through, and it was like making a rainbow for some reason. So I was like, that's cool. And then I backed up in my chair, and because I saw, well, not because I saw anything, I don't know why I backed up, but I remember I was backing up, and I guess it made a spider that was there that I hadn't noticed. Like, it was like right there, and it like, I guess, was startled when I moved, and it started going up. This was before I had seen that reading. And one of the other things that she said was that spiders are gatekeepers, and that's kind of what the webs are for, and they're sort of like a dream catcher, which is what dream catchers are modeled after. Native dream catcher, if you don't know what that is, it is, you can look it up, but I'll just say it's usually a round thing. Like, if you get it from like a native vendor, it's going to be wrapped in like maybe leather, probably leather, and it'll be strung, and it's kind of like geometrical looking, and also like a spider web looking, and it'll have like feathers or some kind of native motif depending on which nation it came from. If it's not made of like wood and natural stuff, if it's made out of metal or plastic, it's mass produced. If you get it the other way, you're getting a real dream catcher. So it's sidetracked, but anyway, the idea of the dream catcher is it seems kind of obvious, but when you sleep, it's going to catch, I guess the bad ones are the ones that you would want to trap, right? The ones that you don't, you know what I mean? So anyway, she said that the spider webs are like a dream catcher, because they will, sort of trap energies that you don't necessarily want from like floating in. And she was saying that they patrol the area, and that spider went all the way around the doorway, okay, while I was sitting there, because that's where I like to meditate sometimes. And I didn't leave because I was like, I like spiders, and I mean, if they're in here, I don't even really put them out. Like, if they're in here, I don't notice them until I see them. There's not like webs everywhere, so if they're by the door, I'll put a piece of paper under them or whatever and put them out, because some of the ones here can bite you and mess you up, I guess, pretty good. Like a brown recluse, like I kind of familiarized myself with what that looks like, but they're here. This was not one of those. It was just like a little guy, but so I just thought that was interesting that later on that is what she talked about. That happens a lot. Energy, earthquake, tower turbulence, resettlement, things being worked out, and it's spiny and full of electric shock, like panning for gold, a shaking around the we contents of the pan, as in we are the contents, so that the dull dirt falls awash and gone, leaving the gold nuggets from dirt or dust obscured. That last bit about the dirt and the dust, well, you know what panning for gold looks like. Well, maybe you don't. I forget. I am old. There used to be a lot of Western like movies and television series in syndication when I was a kid. So the subject of panning for gold in the Klondike, or whatever, like California had gold panning, gold rush. It was called the Gold Rush. Look it up. It's a whole thing if you don't know about it. If you've gone to school, you will have learned about it, but I mean, I saw it on TV so much, I could probably go out there and tell someone else how to pan for gold. I should go do it. I've been looking for agates, though. Anyway, when you do that, like you're just picking up a literal pan, like something very much like this, right? Like that's pie pan. Well, it used to be recycle, reuse. And then you're like on a stream bed usually, and then because you want the running water too, and then you catch up like a pan of dirt from under the water, and then you shake it around and see what comes. What you shake it around and the dirt falls to the bottom, or you'll tip the pan and let that out, and you're continuously letting the water run over it while you're doing it. And so what happens is like the bottom silty stuff will go away, and then whatever else is left is you're able to see it without all that surrounding stuff. So why is that important? I have no idea. Maybe I'll get to it. And there's another thing that 13 Moon was talking about that I didn't really get it, and I still don't, but it kind of stuck with me, so I feel like maybe it's worth mentioning. She said that the phrase out of threes go, she was getting a series of threes, like there was something that she was talking about, and she sort of was working out the three thing, and then she actually said the message, and I'll link the video. Where's my pen so I can remember to link it? Link 13 moons, threes and fours. So anyway, but she, like she worked it out and she's like, okay, well, I guess that's what the threes mean. But the phrase that she heard was get threes and they go to four, from threes to four, from threes go to four, something like that. So I'll link the video, and if you are interested, like if that is somehow snagging your senses and you're like, wait, what's that about, you can go see what she was talking about. And it's a long video, but it's a really good one. I short ones are great, but I like it when people go long so they can sort of, open every flap like an artichoke to explain the core of what they're talking about. Oh, so threes go to fours, and like, I just got a little bit of this because the day before I had recorded a video, which I have yet to upload because I may have to like film it right off my phone. My new upgrade phone decided to stop letting me upgrade stuff, and I thought I was in upload jail, and then I discovered that there was like a bunch of trash I could get rid of. I switched from Android to Apple, so it's probably something really simple, and I just don't know what it is. But I'm kind of antsy to play that video of mine because the numbers, if I've been pulling the angel numbers cards, like several will fall out at once lately, and then when I pick them up, the numbers are all either like so similar I can't not put them together as a set because it seems like they should be together. And then it's been happening. They're all numbers, so I don't know. It's kind of like, I don't know, like roulette. Like, you're not going to always get corresponding repeating numbers. There's all a bunch of numbers. It's not just two numbers there, It's not binary. I'm so clever. Sorry. So yeah, the video that I have yet to release, I pulled a bunch of fours, and it wasn't like out of line with what I was talking about. I just really noticed the repeating number sequences, so I feel like that's trying to tell me something. And I have also felt like something has been trying to enter my consciousness, and I keep like accidentally knocking it away, or there's just something in the way of me getting in. It's like right there's something, like I know there's something I'm supposed to, I don't even know what I'm missing, but okay, so I know somehow that I'm missing something, but something with the numbers. And then the cards I pulled today are very numerous. I guess I'll start. So the angel number, I don't want that to fall. The angel number cards from this deck that I pulled, or actually, they jumped out. They were, I'm just going to show you the number sequence. 0, 1, 1, 0, and I'll be starting with that one. Then 1, 1, 1. Then 1, 0, 0, 1. And then 2, 2, 2. One of my favorite numbers. Which, twos are ones. Ones are twos. I'm not doing like any kind of weirdo, like, I just do oh my gosh, the angel number lady with the J, Janine. That's all I'm doing. Not doing any of that gematria business. I don't know if they're the same thing, but they're not calling it that on Joanne angel number site. That is like kind of the reference I work through. Or else I was asked, when I look it up, I ask for a spiritual or or just significance, and see what pops up. So haven't really felt the need to do that lately, which is weird because, well, I don't know. Never mind. I don't want to get sidetracked down that alley. All right, so 0110, belief system. Go after what you want. Unique. Those are the keywords on this card. There's no graphics, just text. Destiny, inspiration, talent, gifts, appreciation, and gratitude. So I was reading those and I thought, well, that's a grab bag, which is to say, just kind of a miscellaneous. And then the last two words are and gratitude. So, okay, be grateful for all of the things. Go after what you want is not really a thing. In the sense of the other words. I don't know. I'm just going to move on from that for now. The paragraph reads, you're blessed with talents and skills that make it easy for you to stand out from the crowd. Embrace what makes you different. That's your path to success. Your dreams will soon come true. Interestingly, I was watching, gosh, what even the heck was that? It was some kind of rap show, okay? And they were talking about Eminem and Snoop Dogg was on. Oh, I'm sorry. I was watching Joe Rogan. I know, don't judge. I was watching it because Snoop Dogg was on there. And so he was saying that he was talking about doing color commentary for sports, like, you know, when the people talk along with the sports and do the description and reaction to the play and blah, blah, blah. So he was talking about learning to do that from like a YouTube situation where it was just him deciding to do his own thing to the games. I haven't seen it, so I'm not really sure. I've heard about it, but I should look it up. Anyway, Dana White, I think his name is, what do you call that? Fighting? Joe Rogan does it with, like, Conor McGregor does it too. He's more famous. But I don't know. I actually, when it comes to that with those two guys, I don't have a clue who's more famous. Let me just shut up. I know it's mixed multi beating each other up. Anyway, that guy, Dana White, I think he like owns it or runs it, CEO or something, but he's associated with it. And he reached out to Snoop Dogg and said, hey, why don't you start doing your color commentary for our stuff over here at MMA? Yeah, mixed martial arts. And so he did, but I think from there he sprung board to like broadcast or something, or maybe it was there at the MMA thing. But Snoop said that they put him with somebody that gave him like media training basically, and how to talk like all the sportscasters kind of talk, you know, like newscasters speak a certain way, and so do sportscasters. So do auctioneers. But, you know, I feel like same kind of deal. And he said that he was doing that, and I think he said that, oh yeah, I think it was Dana White actually, because I don't know if the network guy would say, you know what, now you just sound all awkward and weird, I guess is what I'm paraphrasing. But whatever it was, the delivery was like awkward. And so the person that was his boss, which I think was the Dana White situation, said, you know, you're much better when you're just yourself. Like, just do it your own way. And when Snoop was relating that story, you could tell that that was like a major breakthrough for him to realize that, like, being your authentic self is going to be better. But, you know, in that situation where you're, like, presented with, like, this whole new kind of upscaling, and you understand that there's expectations, and you're like, you know, it's different from what you've been doing, that you need media training, you know. I don't know, maybe that was the first time that he understood, like, the true value of just, like, coming across as just who you are rather than putting on airs, I guess. So, belief system, he definitely thought things were a certain way. In fact, I didn't watch the whole 3 hours even. I think I only watched 20 minutes of the Joe Rogan show. But there was probably a number of times when the two of them are going to be talking, and probably all the time, that he'll, like, be saying something, and it'll, like, unlock something, like, and this can happen to any of us, because it happens to me all the time. Like, I'll have something on my mind, or not, you know, but you'll start saying something or writing something, and then you're, like, teasing it out of yourself and kind of, like, retelling yourself this information. And, like, when you're doing a puzzle, you just keep turning stuff and moving things around until it makes sense, the picture makes sense and the pieces fit. That's like those thoughts, like that me with that thing, like, I know something's coming, I don't know what it is, but, you know, like, my thing is somewhat different, but you will, like, have these revelations, and you'll, like, accidentally tell it to yourself, you know, like, oh, okay. And I feel like that probably happens a lot in that conversation, so I probably will watch a few minutes, take a break, watch a few minutes more, take a break. 3 hours is a long show for something that's not like a Star Wars movie, that I'm not gonna just sit there and watch that with no, like, chaser. No, not a chaser. I don't know, mixer. Like, I need, like, a side of ice water or something, you know what I mean, for that video drink. I don't know. I haven't drunk in a long time. That metaphor probably doesn't make any sense at all. I forgot how to do it. So, belief system. Snoop, and me, and probably you, you know, in the context of what I'm saying here, you think one thing about your life or yourself or someone else, and then it changes, or you just gain a new perspective. Something just gets you to a new place where you're like, oh, okay. So, okay, the believing stuff was kind of confining. Let it go. Then the next word in the keywords is go after what you want. And that's what he's been doing kind of all along. But I've heard him talk about the rap thing, and he was reluctant to even, like, go down and do, like, the mixtape situation, but he got talked into it, and look where it led him. But that too probably taught him to go after what he wants. And then, you know, like, he does the football thing. He started being like a football dad, and then he's got, like, a league and champions that came out of it that went on to be pros, and he's very good at that. So he has learned to go after what he wants. And then, like, the announcing thing, the color commentary, you know, that's a whole, Secret Shaman Oracle is doing a reading on my sign. After this, I'm gonna watch it. Anyway, so, okay, now the keywords make more sense. Unique, destiny, inspiration, talents, gifts, appreciation, and gratitude. He said, I think a couple of times in the short time I was watching, he made a full-on, you got to be grateful for what you have thing, a statement. And I think a second time before I switched to something else for a while. So any one of these readers will tell you that gratitude is key, like to manifesting, if that's what you're into, but also happiness, because you get what you give. And then if you're grateful for whatever you have, spirit, the universe, the creator is gonna make sure that you'll have something in return for your gratitude. It's not like you have to expect it, or it's a string or anything like that. It's just the way it works. I don't even know that it's so much the spirit going, you were grateful, have some ice cream. I think it's more like just how the whole system works. Like if you put gratitude out, gratitude will serve you something nice, some ice cream. Okay, the next card is the 111 card, and I think it says intuition. I'm going to skip to the paragraph this time and just start there. Time to implement long-cherished ideas. You're on the right track toward making your dreams and visions a reality. The right people, circumstances, and resources are being sent your way. Happiness and new opportunities are at hand. Trust in the process. I love that. So, if I'm going to go back to this, actually, I'm not. Never mind. Something else. Sorry. Okay, so here's the other thing. The other readers that I watch, and those three I named are some of my favorites that do like this kind of thing also. But I watch a whole range of other stuff in readers and empaths and whatever you got. I look at a lot of people. I just like to see like what they're doing, what they're saying, and I just look at what grabs me when I'm scrolling. But they've all been talking about what I had been feeling, and I didn't say anything about, and that was feeling kind of thick, but not bad, I don't know, hold on. I had to send Snuggles a little... I'm busy. So, it's been happening like so many times over the past year where I feel like something just stops me in my tracks and just like makes it so that I have to be in my house or not, going out and doing as much of the physical stuff that I'd like to do, like go ride one of my exercise machines. Because I can't just sit in here all the time. Like I am on, like I'm home because of my health. So, but like I'll just bug out if I can't like go out and move. So I'll get hurt so that I can't do stuff, and I'll just be like immobilized, literally, or one of my vehicles will not be operable. So like I said, it's been happening a lot. And at first it was kind of like I got it. I knew that like sometimes it happens when you're not seeing or hearing something or doing something that you need to be doing, and I feel like it's got to be on like the whole life path kind of situation, because usually there will not be any kind of intervention into what you're doing, like overtly. But if you're not doing something you're supposed to be doing, then I feel like you'll get injured, you'll get robbed, like some kind of like major thing to shake, like a energy earthquake, tower turbulence, resettle moment. And I didn't, like, I finally, something clicked and I understood, like, don't swim against the flow, you know, don't go against the flow. And I was like, okay, well, I really am like kind of immobilized off and on. Like, if I be good and stay still and don't go ride the thing that hurts me, I'm okay in a couple of days. But I really was like stricken in a number of areas. I had a little fall. that didn't help. But you know, I was like, okay, I'm restless, but it's happening. It's gotta be for a reason. So and I just didn't try to figure it out. I was just like, all right, fine, just whenever, whatever. I'll just wait, you know? And then something broke and I started to feel different. And it was like, I don't know, then it was time for like activity and to be able to start doing things. So in tarot, the 111 is, or not tarot, numerology 111 is new beginning. So it's just a phase of that sort of stepping up, or I don't know, it was so much of a rebirth. Like, I almost feel like maybe I was just like a you know how when you're an infant and you're basically just laying there? It was kind of like that feeling, I guess you could say. So post-birth, but not quite, you know, active. And then I did feel, like I said, like there was something that was escaping me. So I've just been trying to quiet my mind and blah, blah, blah. Or, you know, divert myself, which I have been doing. And I didn't personally start doing, like, something new. So on this card, it has the keywords, and I'm thinking of them in terms of keywords for not going against the flow and not like messing up your new little operation, your little infant that's just laying there that you have to take complete care of, you know. Moderation, patience, opens up flow, or flow is what the word says, but definitely patience opens, pardon me, can I talk? Opens flow. Clarity. I mean, if you're just sitting around for a long time like I have been, and I finally stopped fighting the stillness, the sitting stillness, and I knew it would come, you know. I don't know why I have to go through the process over and over. I hope I can just completely drop it soon, because I get it. I don't know what my reflex is to try to swim against the flow, but I don't even know why. Well, what for? What is my resistance about? There's no reason for it. Crumbling away, shaking the pan, getting rid of that dirt, so the nugget of, you don't need to be doing that, dodo. Stop. Can get through, can be seen. Joy. Movement, finally. Self-realization. Like with Snoop. And like the belief system, I mean, you can still have it, but just understand that you can have that and more. Taking action, finally. Unconditional love. Now that just came in there like, wait a minute, that doesn't go with all the motivational speaking. It kind of does, because you gotta give yourself the love before you're good for anything or anybody else. Truth. 1001. Spiritual awakening. New beginnings. Personal development. Prioritizing creativity. Both. And heading in the right direction. You know, it's good to find inspiration wherever you find it, you know. Here's something that you might find surprising. I'm not actually like a huge fan of rap music. There's certain things I like about it. Like, I like the whole literary part about it. I think I like Snoop Dogg, and I think that's like an LA thing, because that's where I'm from. But you never know when you can learn something that'll just blow your mind from a place where you just were not expecting it. I mean, I've watched some stuff. Just to me, I'm like, why am I even watching this? Doesn't even make sense. And then all of a sudden, I'll hear the person speaking and saying something that'll just be like, boing! Hi, that makes total sense with something else. So, I don't know. Don't question it, I guess. So, yeah, heading in the right direction. I guess even if it doesn't seem like it, you're heading in the right direction. I'm going to read the text here. A new phase in a religious or spiritual quest. You're going through a spiritual awakening, which can feel like the dark night of the soul. You're on the right path to enlightenment, and this too shall pass. Well, I mean, like I said, I'm having revelations all the time. Like I was just saying, you just become aware of stuff suddenly and without warning. That's kind of how it works. 0110 11, all cute in the middle there. Wait, did I already do this one? I did already do this one. It's time for 222. Alignment. Connections. The Snoop card again. You made those connections, man. He went on the YouTube, and Dana White saw him, and then he moved on to other things. And I mean, how did he end up with Martha Stewart? What connection does he have? Like, I'm not saying they're the three of them connected, but I don't know, like, a little bit mind-blowing. Friendships, they've become great friends. Romantic relationships. Family ties. Love and marriage. Oh, sorry. I don't know, they're just kind of describing the whole deal there. Balance. Life choices. Compromise. Commitment. Trust. Well, dang, this seems like a total relationship card. Who's having a relationship? How do you move? I'm going to read the paragraph now. How do you move forward toward your life's true calling? Do what makes you happy. Again with the Snoop. Just as an example. I'm not saying anyone has to go do what he does, or I'm not saying anything for anyone to go do, so never mind. I'm just saying, you never know where you're going to find inspiration. Like, it might seem, I don't know, it might, if you were just going to look at me, it might make complete sense that I would like Snoop, because I'm black, but that would be a mistake. Well, no, scratch that. You might think that I like rap. It might not be as specific as a rapper, because one of my favorites is Eminem. The man, He's so quick. He's so quick with the words. I love it. And Snoop just I don't think I have to tell people he's cool. I don't care what he is alleged to have done or not in certain house parties. I'm not looking at that. Yeah, I don't have any. I don't have a connection to that. So yes, reading the paragraph. How do you move forward toward your life's true calling? Oh, I did finish it. Did I? Do what makes you happy. Your enthusiasm is what keeps you going. Follow your interest if it's piqued by something. Following these routes will help you discover your life's purpose. Okay, so I love that. That's like finding your way, doing what you want to do, doing what you would prefer to do, what you enjoy doing. And then, like, here's something that I've been saying to myself for years and have yet to achieve it. That I need to develop me a marketable skill. As in, I need to do something that makes me money, and I have not found that yet. But, I mean, I believe in it because, oh my gosh, I know so many people that just were doing what they liked doing that became, like, millionaires, which I don't know if I want all that, but, I mean, I wouldn't mind having, like, a little bit more than what I have. That would be helpful right now, you know? I'm very much aware and kind of wary of the pitfalls of, like, wealth or even riches. It just now is like, dang, I don't know if I want all that. It sounds like a bunch of trouble. What a bunch of, like, everybody's wanting something from you all the time because you suddenly, you know, did well for yourself. Not that I'm saying that I wouldn't be generous. I would probably, given how I feel about it, try to give away as much of it as I possibly could and just keep living expenses so I just didn't have all kinds of money all the time for people to be bugging me about. I'm not really, I mean, personal situations are different from, like, organizations coming up and bugging you, you know, but even people you know, you gotta have boundaries because, you know, I don't know, it's not been my experience, but I know that rich people are like, so, or people who are new rich people are like, oh my god, everybody's trying to get me. You gotta go, like, undercover and witness protection. But I guess that's something that comes with it, and that is part of the experience for you to get one of those revelations out of. But yeah, I love the idea that you can do something that is not, like, soul killing to not only make a living but become, well, I guess the sky's the limit as far as success, and also what you define as success too, because, like, I grant that is what we in society call success, but see, you heard I have, like, some problem, like, okay, if you insist. So, I also pulled some cards from, oh, there it is. Miracle of Cosmic Oracle deck. Oh, and that's the other thing. A couple of the readers, and one I didn't name, Lighthouse, we have, like, a bunch of us have, like, the same decks, and so they're pulling the same cards that I pulled, like, the day before, or, like, I'll like, the video I may not watch on the day it came out, so the days that they pulled the cards and the days that I pulled the cards didn't, like, always line up, you know, back to back or consecutively, but time is wavier than we give it credit for. Then we experience it in such a rigid fashion, and it's kind of unnatural like it works here. It's kind of like daylight savings time, where like some people are like, why do we have this? And some people are like, this really messes me up, we gotta stop. And it's just like, wait a minute. I mean, I understand how time works on the planet, how a place can be 3 hours ahead. I get how that works. I get how you can get on a plane and you can end up yesterday or tomorrow. I understand that. So, I mean, in that way, even our structured, rigid time can be wavy. But when it comes to time, how it's generally dealt with in everywhere else in the galaxy, I guess, they don't have all those, like, you know, little columns and names and measurements of it, because it always is like, this is a little bit harder to get a grip on, but it's kind of like it already happened. Like, even like whatever you're projecting forward to, the future thing, it's already happened. And you know, and it is happening right now. Even though, like, you may be thinking, well, I want to go to the place and purchase the thing in the future when I get the paycheck, but it's already happened. Huh? I'm not going to go into it too far here. But when I see them pull the same deck and then they pull the same cards and ask the same question, or not ask the same question, but like they'll be talking about the same thing with that deck of cards and that particular card that I was, that just, it makes me so happy, because I get the total, like, you know, like, am I doing it right? Am I just like, am I fooling myself? But then I have to remember all these other things that it's just like, okay, that is not explainable. I can't debunk that as something else. That is unexplainable, and that is the thing that, you know, is like the wavy part that's, it's just there, you know? Like, you know about it, but you're not quite experiencing it. But anyway, the Sacred Shaman Oracle woman will always say that the readings are timeless. Some of them, she'll say you can look at them like any time in the future or the past and the reading will work. That's what she means by timeless, or anybody doing that card reading. When they say timeless, that's what they mean. You can look at it anytime. But then the Secret Shaman Oracle woman, sometimes she says these are not timeless, so I guess get it while it's hot or something. Anyway, from the Miracle of Oracle deck, I got 3 cards, and the first one was, let your feelings out, all of them, even the ones that scare you. I have always been curbed from expressing myself as a young person. I was, as a kid I was. I mean, I said stuff and I got in trouble. But I am like 100% behind this, even just kind of attitude. Like, well, you don't necessarily have to let them out at people or on people. Really, the purpose of doing it in the first place is so that you can take them out and examine them and look at those parts of you that you maybe shy away from because they scare you for some reason. And ding, sink. And then I lost it. When one of these women were talking about animals, because that's another thing, they also talk about the nature spirits and the elements and the elemental kind of stuff a lot. Well, anyway, they have all also been saying to, like, let your freak flag fly, be yourself, instead of like the artificial put on version that, like, if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. He said that too. I forget the context Snoop did in the Joe Rogan clip. chunk more than the clip. But anyway, he said that too. And on the card here is looks like a big cat, but it looks like a big orange cat, doesn't it? What do you call them? A big orange cat. But I mean big, like a lion. Could be like the lighting of the picture too. Just like, I don't know what's going on. Cat's head sticking out of a space nebula or something. A red hole. I don't know. But the rest of that from the orange cat neck down is not cat body. Looks like space. Oh, so, okay. I can't remember which of the readers now said this, but they said that you should look at that part of yourself that you don't look at very often. Like, just pull it out and go ahead and experience it. And it's time, because and all of these women, I think, have said that they work in concert with their own guides and then everyone else's guides, and just whoever's out there, like, tuning in to the reading, basically. But she was saying the guides were telling all of us to go ahead and pull out those feelings that are difficult for us, because down the road we're going to meet people that are going to need to hear our version of, like, what we did when we encountered that situation. You know, like, in some way someone's going to come looking for answers, and they're going to be about that thing. They didn't specify who or what thing. It was more like, if this, like, hits you the right way and it feels like it's something that you should do, then get to work. And this is interesting too, now that I think of it. I was watching just this podcast for a few minutes, and the guy was saying that no one talks about, like, no readers or mediums online. I don't know what the heck this guy was talking about, but he was saying no one talks about going inside and, like, dragging your feelings out, and it sounded almost like a physical struggle, the way he was talking about it, but bringing them out and, like, beating on them and beating yourself up and just doing the hard work. And I was like, are you high? That's kind of all I do, is just, like, drag out my stuff and beat it up and talk about it in front of you, watcher, viewer, so that if you have stuff, and I'm not saying do what I do, I'm saying look at me and go, oh, well, if she can do that for herself, and then I can figure out what the heck I can do for myself and maybe fix some of my stuff. And because, like, that was also what the guy was talking about, is like that he was saying that they're healers, and they concentrate so much on doing that for other people, but they don't then, like, flip the mirror around and turn it on themselves and do the healing that they need to do on themselves in order to keep healing and helping other people. And I was like, are you high? But the guy this guy was, I was turned on to him by a friend of mine, and she said he's mostly a TikToker, and everything that I see of his on YouTube is at least a month old. Even stuff that he loaded yesterday and today is like a month old. So I was like, okay, timeless. But so he's, like, doing it on TikTok and then transferring it later, I guess, to YouTube. And I guess he just started, like, a couple of months ago on YouTube. But I just thought, what a weird thing to say. A lot of the mediums and readers, though, don't really watch other people's stuff. Some do, but a lot of them are just like, no, I don't want to, like, get my field mixed up with anyone else's, which is crazy. It's like trying to differentiate water from water in the ocean, like a drop, But that is something that I have heard from a channeled message, actually. So, from the angelic realm, which I actually believe it to be. Get off me. Well, I don't know what he's talking about. I did not comment on it, though. I was just like, okay, whatever. That's his reality, I guess. Sometimes you say stuff and you're just not, like, thinking about how it's gonna sound in a very short time later. Like, that did not age well. But it's just me, you know. Like I said, a lot of them don't actually really watch other people's stuff, so he may just be speaking from that perspective. When you're going through all of this stuff, you're gonna have feelings. Guilt is a normal feeling. Just breathe in and let it go. I mean, I don't know what I could really add to that. Except, you know, I guess when you're dragging out the fifis and letting them beat you up, you get the guilt feeling. And honestly, if you feel guilt, I feel like you know it's normal because you have it regularly. I mean, listen, it's not good to have it, I realize that. And it's even not necessary a lot of times. Like, we will beat ourselves up. But the thing is, you're gonna feel it, even if you're trying to, like, curb the impulse and get out of the habit of doing it. It's still gonna be with you for a little while if you feel it. Because if you're subject to feeling it, then someone gave it to you. Someone learned you how to do that over your lifetime. No shade. I mean, we can't always, like, be all blaming people for the way they brought you up, because they did not have a instruction manual. All they had to go on was their own lived experience. And what did my parents do? So, or, you know, whoever your adult guardian types you had. So yeah, I mean, it's like anything else of an emotion. Like, you get it, it flares up, and, well, I guess it's not like anything else, because this can sink in like mold, and like, you know, have you ever seen mold in, like, a, what do you call that stuff that goes around the rim of the bathtub? Caulk. And in some places it'll get in the mold, and it's like eating the mold, so you can't clean it off. It becomes one with the mold. Don't worry about it. You can't do anything about it. Just let it go. Let that moldy guilt go. Like, you felt it. We can't, like, eliminate stuff that we made in our heads, you know. Like, we can put them in a box and save it for later, or just not give it as much importance so that it can, well, you know, like, we get paralyzed by feelings. We can get too intense with the feelings, and it just ruins things. And so you gotta, like, have some temperance and moderation. But if you have lived a lifetime of feeling guilty, it may take you a minute to sort of, like, you shuck that. So listen to your body is the last one, and do what it's asking you to do. I'm gonna bring that back to the whole, like, your body's shutting you down if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Or if you're doing what you're not supposed to be doing, it'll shut you down in an effort to stop you from doing that. I feel like it's referring to that. And hidden within the dark, dusty silty, actually, wet dirt looking cloud is a sparkling gold nugget of light. Like, that's like inspirational and the light. And it's a star. Look at all, I mean, it's a star for this landscape, or landscape, skyscape, spacescape. Anyway, it's got spires, sort of. But it also looks a little bit lightning-y. It is up in the sky. Lightning. It's a thought thing, like a spark of a spark. I slay me. A spark of inspiration, that lightning. Oh. Look. There's a cute little cloud. Word not good talking. There's a little planetoid. Oh, actually, I don't know. Don't even worry about scale. It's a little planetoid right there. And light is reflecting off of it. And what is it? The little darkness of feeling like... When the conversation was happening about the dragging out the feelings that you don't want to look at, oh, there it is. You're gonna shy away and keep far away from the one that scares you, because maybe it's dark, you know, but maybe it's not that big of a deal once you just deal with it. And so you reflect on the thing. Like when you meditate, that's what you're doing. You're reflecting, or you're, you know, with meditation, you may just be sitting there like you've asked the question and you're waiting for the answer to come in, so you're quiet. Even that is like a bounce back. Like you ask a question, so you're waiting for you're waiting for a reply. I'm gonna say that works as a you could also say that is a type of reflection. There you go. I didn't have to dig that word out of my brain. So yeah, I mean, listen to your body and do what it's asking you to do. It doesn't have to like only go to the whole like breakdown thing or catastrophe, because I just was talking about this in my last video that I think actually did get up. We don't have to make it so hard. I definitely did a post on my Wix about it. Oh, if I can figure out how to do a link, I should start making that. New stuff that I started doing. I want my own land to do stuff, so in case I do end up actually in upload jail, I can still do it and, you know, express myself with more freedom, frankly. Anyway, what your buddy may be asking you to do is take your gold nuggets and take action, do something with it. Not saying that you have to like make a big deal, but you can take action in your life. Like the whole gold nugget thing is a metaphor, right? You get that, right? I'm not saying you gotta go dig up some gold and then go on a quest and, I don't know, have a rich from gold odyssey. Yeah, you can. Okay, so let's see here. Oh my goodness, I need to finish here pretty well. I mean, whatever, it's just getting on. So I pulled 2 cards from the animal spirit, the wild unknown animal spirit deck. Here, let me let you have a decent look at it. There you go. And I pulled the frog card. So that's the water element. I don't know how much more obvious it could be, but that indicates that it is the water element. And This is the elephant card, and it is the fire element, and it literally, man, literally has some fire in the illustration. So rather than, since I got no impressions particularly about those, I'm going to read from the book and see what it has to say, and perhaps that will inform me and have something to do with what I was talking about. Oh, how nice. Thank you. Frog. Clearing, cleansing, healing. Well, you should be doing that also probably when your body says shut down, take a break. Is that even in here, or was I just talking about that? Yes, when your body asks you to listen and then do what it tells you, it may involve like shutting you down so you can't be distracted. For clearing, cleansing, and healing, so that you can then go on with the cleansing and the healing on other people that need some help with that. Oh, the frog in the water. The frog is getting cleansed and healed. Oh my goodness, duh. So yes, that is kind of talking about what I was saying. And as far as like the, even if we're not talking about my personal periodic breakdowns, we all do have at some point the need to stop and sit and shake it off, you know, like whatever heaviness we may pick up from wherever. Like you might get it off of other people because you're way empathetic, or you just might be tired. You know, like you had to go work, and it don't even really matter like what the job is. Like sometimes you just want to be done and you want to go home and be in your own space and sit there and unwind and not really think about anything and have a nice warm shower or cool shower, whatever is your jam. Let me read the text. There's a strange sound coming from outside. I can't tell if it's a kid or a what do you call this stupid thing? A drone. Okay, so reading. The frog and the water element are almost inseparable. The frog spends its first months of life. The frog spends its first months of life entirely within the healing element, and then emerges to rest on land. But no matter how earthly the frog becomes, its need for cleansing and rejuvenation is regular. Oh my God. It's still the water panning for gold. If you're getting cleansed off so you can get clarity. Well, I'll keep reading. I just love when it all syncs up, though. You have to excuse me. Frogs tend to become overworked and undernourished, so it's vital that such sensitive creatures practice self-care. Gotta take care of yourself before you can go help heal and do all the stuff that you do for other people. That takes it out of you. You have to regularly ground. You have to regularly cleanse. You have to meditate. You have to do all of these things, because you're just gonna turn around and go back out. Like if that's what you do, you may not even have a business. It just may be like something of you, like people just want to talk to you and then they feel better, or whatever the point of contact is. Doesn't really matter. But no matter is the first thing I see. This card serves as a reminder that water helps us cleanse, forgive, and release. Well, don't you feel like a different person after a hot shower and a hard day? Or a cold shower, whatever turns you on, or not, you know, it's your business. Time to dive in. Frogs aren't meant to carry a heavy load. Now they're pretty much like floaty and stuff, and squishy too. Yeah, you don't want to put heavy stuff on them. When in balance, clear energy and enthusiasm for life. Hoppity hop. When out of balance, depleted, running on empty, dehydrated frog is not a good visual. To bring it to balance, lake, river, ocean, or bathhouse. Become that drop of water that is immersed in all of the other water and make your connections, because you can only be touching everything else that's also water. I love it. So, okay. Then I'm going to read what it says about our elephant friend, and family, because they are a large-sized pack animal. I guess they're herds, though, but they're not like herds of gazelles. Those are like huge. Elephants are small family herds. I don't know, maybe families get together when there's like a huge elephant migration. I think that happens seasonally when they're following the water cycle, because they gotta eat and they gotta drink. Hi, where'd you go, elephant? Getting every animal. Okay, come on now. There it is. Elephant, unstoppable, auspicious, wise. The elephant is arguably the most auspicious figure in the deck. Like Ganesh, the elephant represents immense wisdom as well as good fortune. It is said that the great elephant is It is said that the great elephant is the destroyer of obstacles. So if this card appears when you feel stuck, okay, it's gonna stop right here. I'm talking about the elephant as the great destroyer of obstacles. One thing I know that elephants are used for in like where they have elephants, I guess, and jungle, they're used for knocking over trees and getting them out of the way. And it made me think of like the whole can't see the forest for the trees metaphor, and I just thought of like trees pretty close together, and not like evergreen or like redwood size or anything, like something small enough that a elephant could get a trunk around and move with their body and hold it and move it out of the way with the trunk and whatever. Like, it can't be too ridiculously huge, which would mean that the elephant could not fit between the trees. It would be kind of trapped in there. And so it was just like a visual of like a blockage coming free and flow being allowed to happen. Even the big chunky elephant, it has to make its own path, but you get what I'm saying? I don't know what it all means, but there you go. So if this card appears, elephant is the destroyer of obstacles. Oh my god, I'm just keep missing the beginning of the sentence. It is said that the great elephant is the destroyer of obstacles. So if this card appears when you feel stuck, rest assured the path will soon come clear. I said that. To add to the mystery, the elephant is also known to create obstacles in order to steer us in the right direction. I mean, trust this gentle, noble creature. It illuminates the way with the light of self-knowledge. Lots of talk in all kinds of readings that I've been watching about nudges. Our galactic friends and family talking about giving us nudges in like directions we're headed, but maybe like helping us refine the course. But like I said, it's gentle. Like no being like that of like no helpful ET race that isn't not they're not physical. So you're dealing with an energy basically, or like a vibration. Or like even the ones that are solid, they're not gonna like direct, or like our angels won't, our guides won't intervene unless we directly ask, you know. And here's the thing about being stuck. Like, remember I was saying about feeling all like thick and sort of logy, I guess. Um, when something is happening, when it's in process, like when you ask for something, it may happen immediately, but it may take like a long time, like longer than so long that you would forget that you had asked even. But when you ask for something, like it gets going. It's like putting your stamped envelope in the mailbox. Like you did your thing. It's where it's gone to go where it needs to go, and you just gotta kind of let go of it from there. And I lost the thread of that. What the heck was I talking about? Oh, but they give you a nudge, like they see that you're generally heading in the right direction, but maybe you might want to go out this way a little bit so you don't step in a gopher hole, basically. Okay, when in balance, one pointed focus. Okay, generous, loving. Well, I don't know what I could add to that. Their intent on what they're doing. What elephants do, like physically that we can see, that's the world of elephants that we know about. But animals are said to be telepathic with each other, so we don't know what kind of rich world they got going on between each other and how that interface with their world looks like. Like we don't I never even thought of that before, so I really don't know what that looks like. But they're another one of those animals that we assign the description of intelligent to, like as if it's an above average intelligence. And they are, like, they interact with humans, they play, they paint, they like music. There's more going on than just like, give it a peanut and, it's a train. No. And in those situations I was describing where they're like helping with the trees and things like that, and other stuff, like they can haul things, that's something that elephants have been doing with people for, I would say, centuries. I hope in most cases they're being well treated by the people that they're with, but what I was leading up to is that usually they are at work too. They are helping. It's what they, in the right situation, I guess, when they're treated well, and also when they're not, but I want to only think of the situations where they're treated well. They want to be doing that work. They are helping their friend, their family. They're doing it. It buys the elephant food, I guess. Or the elephant medicine, whatever it is. I know that I've seen ones where the people are working with the elephants and they're constantly touching each other affectionately, and the people are talking to the elephants, tenderly and with love. So that is what I envision. Generous and loving. They're generous, they want to help, and they love their family. When out of balance, misunderstands fate. That might be that human to elephant interface. Like I said, they got more going on than we give them credit for on the mental level and on the stuff that we cannot see and hear. And we tend to, like, you're a dumb animal, and like, are they dumb or are they intelligent? I think they're pretty intelligent. Like, they're smarter than we give them credit for. And by the way, have you ever said something to, like, your cat or dog? I usually have a cat around, so I'm going to go with, have you ever said anything to your cat? And then your cat frowns, and you're thinking, did he just react So what I just said, like a person wouldn't go, ah, or whatever. Yes, they understand you. Don't be confused. You can talk baby talk to them, but you can also say some pretty intelligent things to them, like more than we give them credit for. All of the animals, like, we need to, like, get off that whole top of the pyramid thing, because we're not even thinking as intelligently as I feel like a bunch of these animals are on par with us. But anyway, yeah, like, misunderstanding fate. The elephants, I think, do understand, like, what they're meant to do here. We humans have lost the thread completely. I'm thinking of Sweet Tooth again, that Netflix series, because there's a line in there, and it makes complete sense in context, that the hybrids, which were, I'm not gonna, there's some hybrids in there, and there's a disease that happens that is killing humans, and the line is, I'm gonna remember. Hybrids are not the disease. Humans are. So, like I said, I'm gonna go against my normal self and not spoil anything, because I think it deserves to go unspoiled by me and my nonsense. But we are soiling our habitat, and it's a shared habitat. And like I said, elephants, cats, spiders, lots of animals got more going on than we give them credit for. They're not just like stuffed animals. They are not just doing stuff because they're genetically designed to. There's some thought process involved. There's more going on than we can conceive of, because we just think we're just the shit. And we are. Sorry. No, I'm not. To bring into balance trust. Why would that make you balanced? Because if you feel supported, then you don't have to be stressed out and have anxiety about not being supported. When you know that you can trust whomever you're with or wherever you are, well, I mean, you have a whole less that you're worrying about. Things come into alignment. Alright. I think that's enough of me. Thank you and good night. Oh, wait. 2 different phones, all confused. Good night.